Happy Friday, June 14th. Yet another Friday. The calendar keeps going. I'm Cheryl Fidelman, life coach, performance artist, and developer of the ATTUNEMENT practice, where I train my clients how to heal trauma from their nervous system. And today's topic on Fridays with Fidelman is, why should I meditate? Why? I get this question oftentimes from my clients and participants in my workshops, and just people in general that I talk to about meditation. People who resist it or don't want to do it, or like are interested in it, but they're like, why? And they say, like, why should I do this? I sit down and to meditate, and my mind is just going, and it's really annoying, and it like causes me anxiety, and I don't see the benefits of meditating. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. I'm not good at it. So let's see if I can address all of those thoughts, resistance thoughts in meditation practice. For one thing, meditation is a practice. So I don't think there's any such thing as being good at meditation. And it's a practice. It's something that you practice over time. I think that the quieting of the mind becomes something to experience on a more regular basis the more we practice it. But, I've been practicing meditation for years, and I still have meditation sessions where my mind is like, going on high speed. And I have some meditation sessions where I feel like I really attain a real pure, consistent quietness. So I think a lot of it depends on what you're dealing with in your life, in that phase of your life or that day, how connected you're being to yourself on an ongoing basis. There's so many factors. But even if you do sit in meditation and your mind is going, as long as you commit to the entire time, whether you're committing to a 5, 10, 15-minute, 20-minute meditation, there is meditation happening, whether you feel it's happening or not. There is healing and calming in the nervous system. As long as you see out that commitment of the meditation, it may feel like nothing's happening, but there is important healing in your nervous system happening as long as you sort of sit there. Now, I think that a lot of resistance to meditation is the reaction to the thoughts. Okay, so what happens is people say, I don't want to meditate because my mind is going. Well, those thoughts that are going while you're meditating are the same thoughts that are happening anyway, even when you're not meditating. It's not like you sit and meditate and your mind starts to its hamster wheel of thoughts. That hamster wheel is always happening. It's easy to drown it out sometimes when we're in life, because our cognitive life sometimes just becomes white noise. It just becomes that which is sort of unconsciously directing our life that we're not even paying attention to. Or sometimes we can hear our myriad of thoughts, but we drown it out with substances or working or being with people, or there's just so many things that would have us not just drown out our inner world. And so then we sit and meditate and there's nothing to drown it out. There it is. It's right there. And so I think that it's actually not the myriad of thoughts that has us resist meditation. It's our reaction to those thoughts. Because one of the goals of meditation is not to have the mind stop, but to actually be detached from that hamster wheel of thought, to actually be able to observe it and notice it and actually not have a reaction to it. And so that reaction that we're having to our thoughts is often another thought, like, I don't want to have all these thoughts. It's often a feeling, like it gives us this like uneasy feeling of anxiety in our body, a feeling that we don't want to sit with or be with. And that's another sort of nice place to get to in meditation, where we can also observe our bodily feelings and sensations. Because often our bodily feelings and sensations are a reaction to our thoughts, and then our thoughts are reacting to our bodily feelings and sensations. I feel this thing, I don't feel safe. I have this thought, I don't feel safe. Now I feel more intense in my body. Now I think I shouldn't have had that thought. I don't want to have that thought. I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm not doing this right. Oh yeah, I forgot to pay my cable bill. Oh shit, I forgot to pay my cable bill. Now what's going? It's there's this like ping pong that goes back and forth between our nervous system and our cognition, and that ping pong is happening constantly and consistently in life, in meditation or not in meditation. And in my work, the point of the attunement practice is to break the bond between the nervous system and cognition, so there isn't this constant ping pong going back and forth. So we feel what we feel. We don't make those feelings mean anything in our mind. And then we may have a thought, and then we may have a feeling that goes with that thought, and then we can feel the feeling and sensation, notice our thought, and then not have them be in reaction to each other. Because once they're in reaction to each other, they compound and then create a whole new feeling and a whole new thought, and then this huge avalanche. So meditation is vital. It's really vital. And how can I say this? There is a peace and serenity that is always there within us. Whether or not we feel it, whether or not we notice it, whether or not we are feeling extremely uncomfortable within our bodies, with other people, in life in general, it's always there, patiently waiting for us to come back to notice. Because even if we experience most of the time, a lot of people do, and I used to, on a consistent basis, just be inside of a dysregulated nervous system. Like, I was just always off. I was always like not feeling right or settled in my body. And even if you're a full-time unsettled in your body person, there's still peace somewhere to be found within you. I promise there is. Because that's who you are as a soul. There's always a piece of us that is actually untethered and unprogrammed and pure. It's always there. I absolutely promise. And that is one of the goals of meditation, is to connect within, for us to connect within ourselves that which has been untouched, that which has been unfucked with. And I promise it's there. And it may not seem like it, but the more we practice meditation, and I've been practicing meditation for years, and I do it twice a day for 20 minutes. And, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so psyched to meditate. I'm so happy that this is my meditation time. I look forward to it. And some days I like kind of bitch and complain, like, oh man, I gotta go meditate. But I force myself to do it anyway. And every time I do it, even if I'm thinking the entire time, because even though I've been doing it for years, I have sessions where I'm pretty settled and the thoughts are quiet, and the quieter the thoughts, the more sensation I have in my body, because the more triggered your mind is, the less you can feel, and the less triggered your mind is, the more you can feel. And sometimes I have meditation sessions where I'm just thinking the entire time. And I'm like, oh, there's that thought. Oh, there's that thought the entire time. And if that's the kind of meditation session I'm having, then my job is to not hold on to any of those thoughts, not make them mean anything. Because it's actually, when you make a thought mean something, there's your identity. When you make a thought mean something, there's your trauma. the way in which you digest your cognitive world, that is your trauma. An example of what I mean by that is, so a lot of my thoughts, and I've shared about this in previous Fridays with Fidelman videos, a lot of my thoughts have to do with me feeling separate or different or ugly or not liked, or that, like, I don't fit in, or that I screwed something up, because my one of my things is like, I either screwed it up or I'm gonna screw it up. And that's like an automatic fear of mine. And so where my trauma comes and where my identity comes is in the believing of those thoughts. I'm going to screw it up. I believe that. Instead of just noticing that those are thoughts that are running through my head. Or I'm a weirdo, or I'm a freak. That's a lot of my automatic thoughts that my mind is programmed with, they were programmed at a very, very young age. I'm a freak, I'm different, I'm not safe, I don't like this person doesn't like me, I'm inferior. Now, meditation has been so healing for me because I see those thoughts running through my brain and I don't do anything about them. Because it's in the doing something about them that my trauma, that my trauma and pain body gets triggered. Like, oh, there's my I'm going to screw it up thought. And if I believe that thought, I'm going to screw it up. Yep, I believe that, which means I also believe that I'm inferior, which means I also believe I'm ugly, which means I also believe, all of these, negative things about my life. And the believing in those thoughts is now how I'm going to walk through life, believing all of these negative things that I identify with, which is my identity, which is my trauma body. And so in meditation, all of those things that are automatically going through my brain, I watch them. It's like I just watch them like it's a movie. And the longer I've been in my meditation practice, the longer I can bring that practice into my life with other people. When I'm with other people and things get triggered, like I'm different or I'm weird, I can notice it when I'm with somebody and not believe it or identify it. Like, oh, there's that plane that just flew by in my head, but I don't believe it anymore. I'm like, if there's no belief, there's no attachment, there's no grabbing the thought and then protecting myself because that thought is true, and then projecting onto another person like I'm weird, so they must think I'm weird, so now I'm going to act like even smaller and contort myself and try to not show that I'm weird. It's all of these attaching to thought and wearing all of these masks because we believe our thought, and that's our pain body and our trauma body. So, why should I meditate? The answer is because you can separate yourself from your trauma. You can notice what is automatically already going on in your head and heal the reaction to what is already going on in your head. And the more we heal the reaction to what is already going on in our head and our bodies as well, the more we heal that reaction, the less life those things have. Like my thoughts of feeling inferior or separate or weird, they're a lot less now because I haven't been feeding them with belief. Because I've been just not giving them life, just noticing them. Therefore, when I'm with people, there's so much less in the way. And I think I mentioned this last week in my Fridays with Fidelman, Alone, Loneliness, and Isolation, that it's not that, like I said, I don't believe in confidence. It's not like I experience confidence. It's just that I'm experiencing nothing. I'm experiencing less and less and less filters because I'm not attached to them and giving them life and making them be real. Because none of it is real. All of this anxiety ridden thoughts that have us be separate from other people, none of it is real. What's really real is that peace and calmness that is always, always there, waiting patiently for us to notice it. And even if you have a 10-minute meditation session and you have 7.5 seconds of noticing that peace and the rest of it is all, the mind and the body going, that's great. That's great. Because eventually that 7.5 seconds will become 8.5 seconds or 11.5 seconds. And then you'll start to experience that peace in actual contact with life, with people and your decisions and your relationships and what you're creating in life. So, as a regular Fridays with Fidelman tradition, I'm saying goodbye. And if I have another thought, I'll come back and tag it on. But have a wonderful weekend. Happy Father's Day. And even if you can try to do 30 seconds a day of meditation, give it a try. Notice your thoughts and feelings. And notice the peace inside you that is always there and waiting patiently to be accessed. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye. Okay, one final thought. I already, put my sweatshirt on and was going to wind down for the day, but I have a thought about safety, which is that often people avoid meditating because of their relationship to safety, because they don't feel safe out in the world, out with people. And the root of that is they don't even feel safe in and of themselves. Sit in meditation, we have all of these feelings, all of these thoughts, and one doesn't feel safe in the tornado of their own inner world. That also is a reaction to thought and feeling, I'm not safe here. And so that's another main reason why I think meditating is so vital. Because the more we meditate, the more we create our inner world to be a safe place for us to exist. Therefore, we are bringing safety to relationship and not actually looking for the relationship to provide safety for us. And we are bringing safety into our decisions, into our the way in which we're moving through life, building our environment, building the infrastructure of our relationships, the way we are making our decisions. We are bringing this peace, this serenity, and this safety. We are bringing ourselves as a sovereign, independent being. That which is the antithesis of codependence. And so I think meditation is an access to healing codependence, to healing that part of us that needs to prove ourselves, that part of us that wants to be wanted, needs to be needed, that part that hooks into another person. Because through meditation, we can fully be hooked into the number one most important relationship, which is the relationship with ourselves. And we can extend, fulfill, and strengthen the relationship of the serenity and peace that is within us constantly. I promise it is always there waiting patiently for it to be noticed, for you to notice it. And the more that we meditate, the more it provides healing for our physical life, for our emotional life, and for our psychological life. Because that consistent, healthy relationship with the peace inside us can decrease all sorts of health issues for all parts of our beingness. Thank you for listening. Happy Father's Day. Please comment, ask questions. Let's keep the meditation conversation going because I think it's the best
most important thing that we can provide ourselves and in turn for our families and communities. Bye.